guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, and if you don't know me, my name is Danny. I've been doing weight loss and fitness for about 8 years, and I've lost over 100 pounds when I was at my lowest. My biggest, I was a little over 300 pounds. At my lowest, I was like 170. So I've been doing fitness a really long time, and thus the name for the channel, From Failure to Fit. You know, I failed a lot in fitness and I've made a lot of progress. I've had a lot of success, but I've definitely failed. So if you are new, please subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you like this kind of content, I'm showing the real raw side of not only weight loss, but in fitness, and not just, you know, from the perspective of a influencer and what they do. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about some misconceptions with diets and nutrition that, you know, is important. Diet and nutrition is like 80% of fitness, which is a big misconception. Is a lot of people think it's, you know, you just can go to the gym and work out really hard for hours and you're good. And that is definitely not the case. And that is a mistake I have made in the past. You know, when I first started my weight loss journey, I assumed that if I spent hours in the gym, that's all you have to do. Which is really not the case. You know, I had spent 2.5 hours in the gym several times a week for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I would go in and just push really heavy weight for like 1,000,000 sets, just walk out completely dead. And I almost saw no progress, besides the fact that I was losing weight when I had shifted more towards the idea of building muscle and building a like physique, an aesthetic physique. I made no progress, and I always wondered why. And this was before I hired a coach anyway, so, you know, I was just trying to do it on my own, which, you know, if you are trying to do it on your own, do your research, listen to people who have done it before, or hire a coach. You know, if you are really inexperienced with this stuff, it can be a lot and a little overwhelming. So, you know, research stuff, you know, look into how to lose weight properly, what have people done in the past, etc. But anyway, so like I said, I'd spend hours in the gym doing hours of cardio, you name it, and I was not really seeing progress. And finally, you know, it kind of clicked in my head that, like, wait a second, I need to look at my diet, because diet really, when you break it down, is like 80% of it. Like, you could go and work your heart out in the gym, walk out hardly, you know, just absolutely dead, wanting to go to bed like as soon as you get out of the gym. But then if you're making no progress, you're like, why? And then you realize what you're putting in your body, like all these sugars, chips, carbs that aren't the best carbs to consume, like simple carbs, or so you look at it and you're like, this might be the problem. So some misconceptions that, you know, I have found within myself that I believed early on in my weight loss journey, and then, you know, something that kind of has a stigma within fitness, and that people who are trying to lose weight tend to think that they can't eat carbs, and carbs are great for you. I've tried like every diet under the sun, you know, the South Beach diet or whatever. I've tried keto, essentially, before it even was popular. Like 6 years ago, I was doing keto, and I had no idea I was even doing keto. I just cut out carbs and just ate a bunch of like high fat, you know, meats and stuff, and it did help me lose weight. Like keto, I will say, I lost a lot of weight on keto. What I'll say is keto, I may not, you know, have done it the most proper way, but, you know, it was essentially a low carb, very low carb, high fat, high protein diet. So keto is pretty effective for losing weight. At least from my experience, it worked. But for building muscle, it didn't really work for me. And I think this stigma that like you can't consume carbs or carbs are bad for you is something that, plagues a lot of people's minds in fitness or in weight loss. And people tend to think like, if I cut out all the carbs I eat, then I'm good to go. Which to me is not necessarily the right thing at all. I eat carbs now. For, like I said, 2 years I didn't consume carbs because I thought they were bad. They're not bad. They give you energy to go work your butt off in the gym. They are good for you. Now, it's the type of carbs that you put in your body. Eating a donut with like a bunch of sugar in it and stuff may not be the best thing for you, but having like a potato, like not fried in oil or anything, but just a plain potato or rice or wheat bread, fruit is a carbohydrate and it's a sugary carb, so there are some natural sugars in there, but those kind of things help you in the gym. They give you the energy you need to go work hard, and give you energy throughout the day. I noticed when I wasn't consuming carbs, I was always extremely tired and fatigued. Even if I wasn't working out, like just doing day-to-day stuff, I was really tired. So that is a big misconception. And another thing is that, if you just eat a bunch of protein, you're just gonna get jacked. And that's something also I messed up in college, at least my first year and a half, 2 years. I'd say the mistake I made was I would always go to the dining hall, which I'll say anyone in college, it can be tough to follow a pretty clean diet in college, especially at a dining hall, because in all honesty, you don't know what you're eating. Like, you can look at a plate and kind of guess what it is, or kind of try to track it, but at the end of the day, it can be hard, especially because you're not making the food, or on MyFitness probably can't always look it up or something like that. But I thought that going to the dining hall and getting like 4 or 5 like of these fried breaded like chicken patties, essentially put on a sandwich, was like perfect. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm building muscle. I'm getting huge. I got fat. That's what happened. I got fat. I didn't really make a lot of gains at all. And it's a type of proteins you do consume. A lot of people don't understand that, like, there are varying fat contents and calorie contents per different types of, meats or proteins or whatever. Like red meat, if you look on my Instagram, you'll see like I made a post about red meat and steak. I don't consume steak that often because it has a higher fat content. So for me to eat steak, I have to move things around throughout the day to, account for that. There's more calories and fat in a piece of steak than there is in a lean chicken breast, if that makes sense. Chicken breast, super lean, there's like no fat. Steak, there's, more fat. And there's different cuts of red meat you can have. Like fillets are usually the thing I shoot for when I eat red meat, or 96.4 lean ground beef or stuff like that. So people see all these proteins at a grocery store, and they're like, I'm just gonna pick up a bunch of this, and they don't read the label, and they see that like, oh, this meat is, it's red meat, it's good, or ground beef, like this is how I'm gonna get big, or lean, or this is how I'm gonna lose weight, and then they don't read the label. It's like 80-20 ground beef, which is like what tastes really, really good, but it has a lot of fat and a lot of calories, and they don't see that, and they don't put 2 and 2 together. So yeah, I think with diet and nutrition, I think one other thing is like people are afraid of fruits and stuff. Like, fruits are really good for you. I eat fruits every day. I also make sure to eat my vegetables, but like fruits are important. A doctor wouldn't tell you to go eat fruits at the office. Like if you go in for a checkup or whatever, you see the little food pyramid, or doctors don't say go eat fruits for no reason. Like, they're healthy for you. And I feel like people are so afraid of like calories and carbs and sugars, which is understandable because there are bad sugars and bad carbs and that kind of stuff. And I'm not using the most scientific terms, obviously, but I'm just kind of trying to break it down in an easier format for you guys. But fruits are very good for you. Like, they have, a lot of benefits to them. Some of the superfoods are fruits and stuff, and help with, immune system. I mean, I drink occasionally cranberry juice and stuff like that to help boost my immune system. I eat blueberries, raspberries, bananas, apples. I love fruit, and fruit is really good for you. And everything in moderation. I'm not saying to go eat like 6 bananas in one day, but have your fruits. And you can also find other things to eat that are like sugary-esque, kind of like for dessert. My girlfriend and I have found out that we can make our own sugar-free pudding, and there's not that many calories in it, and I can eat a lot of it. Or I make protein ice cream, which is sugary and tastes like dessert. Greek yogurt, my 000 Greek yogurt, very good. I put some dark chocolate chips in it, and it feels like I'm having dessert. There's like, people are on one side of the spectrum or the other. It's like, I'm just gonna eat all this crappy food, and just work out for hours, and that's it, and I'm gonna see what happens. Or it's like, I'm gonna follow the most strict bodybuilding diet in the world, which I did that for about 2 years, and I still kind of do it, but it's very tough. It requires a lot of willpower and stuff. So it's like, there's no middle ground. Like, you can enjoy really good tasting foods without, all these calories or all this, like, oh, I gotta go at Ben and Jerry's. Like, you can make it your own that's a lot healthier for you. Or you can have fruits, and sometimes you have to be creative. So just to wrap it up, guys, like, nutrition is literally, I would say, the most important thing. Besides going to work hard in the gym, like, you don't have to spend 2 hours in the gym a day. Like, I spend 45 minutes to an hour outside of doing cardio like 2 to 3 times a week. But like, I don't spend hours in the gym anymore. I make sure I'm consuming proper foods that help me get the goals that I want. Nutrition really is important, guys. And if you don't have, I would say, a well-balanced diet, or a diet that's sustainable for you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do keto, or you shouldn't do the South Beach diet or anything like that. I mean, I've done them all. I even did Jenny Craig. So I've done it all, but I'm saying is, like, if you're gonna do fitness, weight loss, if you want to change your life for the rest of your life and make it a long-term thing, make it a lifestyle change, which is what I preach so much. Variation and making things enjoyable leads to long-term success. And that's the success that I found over the last 8 years, the last couple years specifically, is like, I finally got down and I finally understand, from the help of my coach, what foods are good for you and what foods are not. And also, you guys can go out to dinner. Like, I go out to dinner several times a week, but I figured out how to go out to dinner and not ruin everything. So so I hope you guys liked the leg day video. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I don't squat heavy anymore or anything like that. I focus on slow, eccentric, controlled movements. I make sure I feel my contractions, squeeze. I do all my movements slow. Helps me gain size, which I can explain why in a different video. But yeah, I hope you guys like the leg day video, and I hope you guys take what I say and either roll with it, or leave some comments on what you guys think are some misconceptions with diet, nutrition, or just fitness in general. But I will see you guys next time. Remember always to motivate, manifest, and maintain. I'll see you guys next week.